Hello, welcome to the first event of KubeCon Cloud Native Con. I'm Bill Mulligan. I'm joined with Mrityunjay here, and we're going to be talking about the journey from college to cloud native. Now, before we jump in and do our introductions, I'm going to play a short video about what KubeCon really is about.
It's more than just open source. It's about connecting with people, it's about being part of the community, it's about sharing what you know and helping others.
KubeCon is the best place to get hooked into the community and learn from everybody.
And let me tell you people, this is just the beginning.
Cool. So I hope that got you a little bit excited. And before we kind of jump into talking about Cloud Native Con, let's give some short introductions so you know who both of us are. So Mrityunjay, do you want to jump in first?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Bill, for this great opportunity. Thank you so much to KubeCon, CNCF, and to everyone who is watching us right now. And my name is Mrityunjay Sharma, and I'm currently an Linux Foundation mentee, and I'm contributing to Cloud Native Computing Foundation's project Kubernetes. And today, as we were discussing before this talk, we know the situation, what India is going through right now. Many of our friends, many of our relatives are fighting the toughest battles of life. The battle is not easy. And today, before we begin this CUBE conference, before we begin our session, we need to tell them, to all those people who are fighting this great virus, let them know that we are there with them. We are all with them, we stand with them, and we are there to help and pray for them. So today, before we begin, let's keep a short prayer of around 1 minute to pray for all those who are fighting and for all those who have lost their loved ones, but right now they need some strength. Let's pray to God that God does great to our country, to great India. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I really hope that all of you who are going through this, you all will heal. Times will become better. We need to stand together and help each other as much as we can. Now, Bill, I hope that you can tell us more about this conference, how this platform will help us, and how the newcomer, the students, many students like me who want to join open source community, they can get a great start.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for that. And it was, for all the people in India, we're sorry for everything that's happening there. And please, if the conference, it'll happen again, please take care of yourself. But if you are here for the conference, we do have a couple of resources for you as a student, and we can kind of jump into that. So welcome. The first resource that I'd like to point out for students is the CNCF Slack. And you can find it if you go to Slack, slack.cncf.io, you can join the CNCF Slack. And once you're there, you should join the KubeCon students channel, because that's where we'll be having all the information about students that want to be involved in this project or at this conference. And we'll be dropping announcements, hints, and other things like there. And Mrityunjay, do you want to tell a little bit about how you got into open source? I know we were chatting before this started out, and you said this Slack or this Twitter conversation from Dim's actually kind of inspired you. So actually drop this in the chat,
Yeah.
and you want to tell your story a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. So open source was something that actually, as a journey, started in 2019 itself, with an opportunity to attend Open Source Summit in Lyon, in France. But if I want to talk specifically about Kubernetes, how I entered Kubernetes, how I got inspired to join this community, then this was this pin tweet of Dims, and Dims is a very amazing community member. He loves to help everyone, and I think through his humbling nature, his humble nature, that really helped me. His tweet entire thread is the best resource that I think any beginner can have. It has almost everything that you need to know, that you need to know to bridge the gap between Kubernetes and you. So I know that we all know that Kubernetes is a very big project, and for anyone, any beginner, absolute beginner, it can be daunting to begin with. But this tweet alone can help you to at least start. From where to start, you all have that question. We all as a beginner have that question, that how to start. How will I get help if I get stuck? So this tweet thread is like an encyclopedia. So definitely I recommend this. And after this, I actually was redirected twice by Linux Foundation when earlier I applied. And I applied for Linux kernel project as well as Thanos, which is a CNCF project. So I was redirected. I won't say rejected, because there are all the failures are learning, so there are no rejections, there are redirections. So that is the thing. And after those two redirections, I finally found this tweet helped me, and I started looking for this opportunity in Feb, and finally I was accepted in March. So now I'm contributing to Kubernetes. And so I'm not saying that it's going to be uh, a daunting journey, because it's Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a difficult but project, of course, but you are going to learn amazing things from community. And you just don't need to, even if you don't know Golang, even if you don't know a thing about Kubernetes, by joining the community itself and by asking your doubts, specific doubts, I think you are in itself becoming a contributor, because you are becoming a part of the conversation. So join the community, ask your questions, be an active member, try to find your interest. And not only Kubernetes, any project, any CNCF project is really, really accessible for all of you. It's really inclusive, and you are going to be helped a lot. We are all there to help you. So that was my journey. I mean, I'm sure that I could tell you. Bill, I think you can, share more if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. Dims is an amazing person, an amazing community resource, and I encourage you to check this thread out after you get inspired by everything that you say at KubeCon. But kind of taking it a couple steps back here and going to the first step, like, what is KubeCon? We're at this conference together, but what does it actually mean? So this is the conference website. If you haven't already registered and you don't have a ticket, there is a form for students to fill out to have a free ticket, and I'll drop that in the chat for all the people. And I see there's a comment in the chat. This is my first session at KubeCon, so welcome. Super happy to have you here, Ziffer. And fill out this form if you don't have a ticket yet. If you already do and this is your first session, that's awesome. And so if we go back to the website, you can see a couple different things here. We can see the register, the attend, the sponsors, the program, contact us, and like other events. And I think the cool thing about KubeCon is there's like so many things going on. I think the craziest thing is not just the schedule, but there's so many co-located events happening at the same times too. I think there's like 20 different co-located events, and those are happening today and tomorrow, and the real conference starts on Wednesday. So if you still have time to build out your schedule, you still have time to attend co-located events around topics around cloud native if you really want to. And so this is another great place to get started. But if you're a student, I'm going to dive into the KubeCon's schedule specifically and point out some of the talks that I think would be super helpful for you. And so there's a couple different ones. I don't know, Mrityunjay, have you built out your schedule yet? And is there any that you'd recommend?
Yeah, so students, I have built my schedule and some of my favorite talks that I would like to definitely share. Just give me a moment. Let me go ahead.
Cool. And while you're looking it up, Oh,
Yeah, two schedules that I am definitely looking forward to is your path to non-code contribution in the Kubernetes community, and it is happening on guess fourth, or sorry, fifth. It's on Wednesday, and it's happening at 2:15 European time. So and at 5:40 p.m. Indian time. So it is it is a panel discussion, and this can be a starting point, like just like that tweet happened for me. This can be a starting point for you to join the Kubernetes community, and that too without any code. So that is one of my schedule that I would definitely like to go. And then there is another event that is happening that I think that can be good for student, is building your brand with CNCF AMA. So that is happening again on the same day, and it is happening at 1600 hours European time. And another community event that I would definitely like to attend was hacking into Kubernetes security for beginners, because I'm into Kubernetes security itself, but so that is definitely that I personally would like to go. But if you are a beginner, I would definitely recommend that join this talk, and it is happening on 6th. It's happening on Thursday, and it's happening at 12:25 European time. So these three are my favorite events as far as now. And I would also request, all of you to attend the keynote that is happening on 5th. And especially what Priyanka is the GM of Cloud Native Computing Foundation, and as of now that is a surprise, but there is something special there for you as well, for all the students. So it is happening on 5th in a keynote. So looking forward to that as well.
yeah. So the keynote session he was talking about was
this
the
is
first one, kicking it
the
off.
first one. Yeah. So that is a very special thing that is happening, and I will definitely request all students to join that, because Priyanka has not asked me to reveal what it is about, but it will help the students, let me tell you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And some of the other talks that I'd like to highlight, if you're a student, and I can walk you through the schedule and like what I'm excited about too. Like number one is obviously the College of Cloud Native session. If you're excited about this one, that's great, because you're already in the session, so you're doing a great job already at KubeCon. Next one is there's going to be a bug bash. If you're interested in diving into some of the code, it's a great way to get started in the community. Tomorrow is a whole bunch of like co-located events, and there's a lot of things going on, but a lot of them are outside of the main event. But one thing I do want to point out that I think is super cool actually is checking out the daily wrap-up every day. And so there's so much going on at the conference, and this will be a good summary of all the things you weren't able to get to. And we have a bunch of really cool hosts from around the community that will be talking about like their favorite parts of the conference. So it's a good way to figure out what's happening around the community that you aren't even aware of yet. And I see there's a question in the chat from Shan. Does one have to go through Kubernetes and other cloud native suite before going to paradigms such as edge computing? So that's like, no, absolutely not. You can do Kubernetes first, you can do Falco first, or you can go into edge computing. There's lots of different pathways in the cloud native ecosystem, and it's what you're most excited about, what you're most interested in, whether that's code, whether that's non-code, whether that's building community. There's lots of different ways, and there's tons of sessions to find out different ways to get into the community.
One thing more, Bill, I would definitely like to recommend students to join other sessions which are related to entertainment. So if you are a student, and if you like if you want also have some kind of entertainment, if you get if you other than talks, if you really want to have some play games with your peer and try to network not only through talks but also through games like bingo. So we have in our conference events like those as well, and I have just shared with you, Bill, if you can show them. So a lot of games are happening: bingo, pop culture trivia, and Star Wars trivia. So you all can join these kind of labs and enjoy games. So
yeah, so the conference just isn't about like code or like cloud native. There's also fun things to do too. So yeah, it's great. Some of the other ones I want to point out on Wednesday, there's a really cool track that you might want to check out. It's the business track. And so this is going to break down some of the cloud native concepts into more understandable terms. And so in terms of like the business sense, the dollars and actual cents. And I think it's a really cool track because it'll make it more understandable, cloud native understandable to a lot more people. And so it's taking these technological concepts, breaking them down, and applying to the business world. So even if you're not a coder and you're not interested in that, you still can be involved in the cloud native ecosystem, and there's a place for you too. I think that one's going to be super exciting. I'm really biased. I think Ian Coldwater and Cosgrove are super cool people, and it is in the. I think this is in the community track. That's another really good track to check out because it talks from around the community, and it's some of the other ones that Mrityunjay was talking about, including your path to non-code contributions. So the community track is another really cool one to check out. There's I think one great thing about the cloud native ecosystem is that it's really a diverse ecosystem, and we really try to welcome all people at the table. And there's some great sessions here. So one is Empower Us, sponsored by Google Cloud, like helping people from different backgrounds get into the cloud native ecosystem and feel that they're comfortable and have a role. So if you're new to cloud native, this might be a good session for you. And then I see there's a couple questions in the chat. Has the escape room already filled up? I think it's already filled up. So sorry about that. There's a lot of hot topics here. You gotta get there early.
You have to first come first serve. I mean, I was also trying the same escape room, but it was filled up, I guess.
Shoot. Yeah, so all the events are super popular. Next one is, can you please tell us the whole process to start the journey with Kubernetes, including project contributions?
Yeah, I think I would like to answer this question, Gaurav, see, one thing that is important that Kubernetes community has, a lot of special interest groups. So special interest groups are basically persistent groups that are specifically designed for a particular task. So I'm sharing the link with Bill, and I hope that he shares in the comment because I'm somehow not able to share it here directly. So I'm just sharing it. So to get involved with the community, I would definitely say that get involved with the community. So I know that I'm trying to repeat a thing. So when you try to get involved with the community, just get involved in the community. By that, I mean that join the community, join the Slack channel, join and try to explore what is happening there. So this link that I have shared, I will be sharing with you. And from that, you can learn that what are the community guidelines, what are the different special interest groups, and try to explore which interest groups is fit for you right now. Even if anyone doesn't fits you right now, try to explore and get your interested item and just join a Slack channel and just see what is happening, because most of the learning that we have actually are through serendipity, through experience. So experience, get involved in it. And other than that, the best thing that we shared was the thread by DIMS. That thread helped me start with Kubernetes. And to talk about that, I think that is one of the best medium to get involved with that. So these two resources are things that I will definitely recommend for you. I hope that will help you. And you can otherwise ping me on Twitter as well. I can definitely help you. I'm sharing my profile. So you can definitely ping me and ask more questions.
Yeah, and so there's another question in the chat here too about like what prerequisites are there in order to contribute.
So I guess if you really want to contribute in the code, then you should have a basic idea of Golang. And otherwise, if you don't want to contribute in the main code base, then even if you don't know Golang, you can start contributing by first understanding what is Kubernetes, what are SIDs, and then you can start writing blog post. Maybe you can start you can join a specific release, like you can join a special interest group of release committee. So in the release committee, what happens that they are actually for people who are the SIG leads of release team or the shadows. But even if you are a beginner and if you want to get involved with the community, when you are welcome, just try to understand what is happening there, get involved with the release team. I think that will be the best thing to learn. from the beginning itself, because release team has a lot of non-code options as well, because there are a lot of teams, especially the release notes team, where you don't have to maybe directly deal with the code. You can join the meetings, the weekly meetings or the bi-weekly meetings that are happening, introduce yourself, tell what you are thinking, why do you intend to join this channel, and they will themselves guide you, because Kubernetes is so huge that we cannot accommodate the entire process in a talk itself. And most of the things that we would like to tell you is that try to uh, get involved in the community by joining the channel itself, by joining the community itself. And that only helped me, and I guess that will help you in the best possible way.
Yeah,
Anything that you would
absolutely.
like to add, Bill?
No, I think this is great. There's so many different ways to get involved. It's just I would pick one to start with, try to figure out what's going on in that channel, and then you can figure out what you want to do from there. So I think it's great advice. The next question is from Magno. How do you become a CNCF ambassador, and how to help me in with my career and resume? So if we go to CNCF /ambassadors on GitHub, we have all the information here. And so the ambassadors are the people that are super excited about the cloud native community and want to encourage people to become a part of our community. They go around, they give talks. If you around the conference, you'll see a lot of the ambassadors giving talks in the Slack channels, chatting with different people, and they're a really great community resource. The other thing that they do is they organize like local meetups and talk to other things. And I'd also like to shout out to Kunal. He's our most recent ambassador to join the program, and he's actually a student too, and he runs the YouTube channel Code for Cause. And he just became a CNCF ambassador, and it helps you provide more visibility, opens up new opportunities to you, and things like that. And on the GitHub page, there's also a link to apply to, but that's kind of like once you have some experience in the community. The next question that we have is there an overview of projects available for students to pick from as internships within the various CNCF projects? So yes, there is. If you go to, contribute. If you go to CNCF /contribute on GitHub, it has, things are changing around. So there's a new website about to come out. And so it's going to happen. It's just not quite there yet. Let's see if I can find it. Find the preview. So I know it's in.
I think, Bill, you are talking about this. I've sent you mentoring. They have a lot of projects related to CNCF internships. You can.
Yeah. So actually, the website that I'm talking about is. Okay. So there's, you're right. There's two different ones. I want to become a contributor, and there's a whole list of all the different projects, their primary language, and where you can get involved. But the other thing that Mrityunjay was talking about was this mentoring. And so CNCF, I think, provides a great resource and provides an internship program, so paid internships to work on projects. Last year we did about 71 total across Google Summer of Code, Google Summer of Docs, Outreachy, and Community Bridge or LFX mentorships. This year we're shooting about 100. And Mrityunjay, do you want to talk about your experience, like applying for them and how you got yours?
Yeah, definitely. So if I want to talk about my experience, so let me tell you, good news that tomorrow the mentorships will be available to apply for students, for the mentees on LFX mentorship page. I'm sharing the link. So do keep a watch on that first and do apply for that if you are interested to participate this year. So, and other than that, if you already want, if you want to see the projects participating this year, you can definitely go to the mentoring channel and mentoring GitHub repository that right now Bill is sharing. There you will find LFX project folder where you can go ahead and see. So right now you might not be seeing accepting applications, but tomorrow they will be visible. So do be prepared from tomorrow. And what will happen in this process is that you're going to apply, just like here right now risk is showing, you will be getting CNCF under the umbrella of CNCF. A lot of projects are there, so Kubernetes, Thanos, build packs, and a lot of other cloud native technologies that are there, they are applying, and you will get a chance to apply. So first of all, when you go to this page, you have to create your community profile, talk about yourself, upload your resume, all that things. After that, when you click the apply button, after that you will be submitting the application will be submitted, but you will be getting two tasks. Especially, I'm talking specifically about CNCF. Other projects may have different criteria, because Linux kernel has a totally different criteria, and CNCF has a different criteria. Till I participated, till I joined it, so the criteria was that you have to update, there were two tasks. The first task was to you have to upload your updated resume. It should be a one-page resume. One-page resume is good for students. Secondly, you have to write a cover letter, and cover letter usually revolves around three questions. The three questions are that how do you learn about CNCF this project that you are applying for. Secondly, it asks what do you think that why do you think that you should contribute to this project? I mean, how do you find yourself eligible? How do you find yourself that you can do great contribution to this project? So you have to tell there that why you are good. You have to tell that you have done this project, you have participated here, and so you have that experience, you have that expertise, that you can try to learn even more from this mentorship, get a real world experience as a student. And as a student, getting a real world experience, getting a learning and getting paid for it is, I think, an amazing opportunity. Third question is, I guess, uh, what do you expect from this mentorship? So you can write about that. What are your expectations from mentorship? Like you don't only want to learn technical skills, you want to learn soft skills, the communication skills, because they will be mattering the most. Dealing with computers and programs is still easy. Dealing with humans is a lot more complex, because humans are different. Every human is coming from a different experience, different privilege, and we never know what a person is going through. And we are easy to judge, and we are difficult to be a lawyer in a real life. So that is why I'm saying that joining these kind of mentorship programs help us really to become a lot more mature in our approach as well, not only technically but in dealing with humans, how to talk, how to interact, these kind of things that you will get as a student. Because as a student you will be learning theory from your university, but these kind of projects, the CNCF projects, are the amazing mentors. They are really experienced. My mentor himself has an experience of more than 20 years, so you can imagine how much learning I would be having under him, and among all other community members. It's not just about between you and your mentor. You are going to help all, you're going to get help from all. So use this opportunity. So this you can answer this question like this, that this question, that how you will get, what you will get from this mentorship. I told you the answer, what you will get from this mentorship. So after that, it's just about waiting for the results. Or you can join the community, you can join the particular community channel, and you can ask your doubts, because before joining you must be trying to create a development environment in your system. So you might be getting errors, because we all get errors. Without errors we don't learn. So without bugs we don't learn, and bugs are very important to learn. However, they are not important at night when we have to sleep. At that time you have to avoid the bugs. so so and that is I think my experience. And right now I'm having an amazing experience. My mentor knew that I am helping people on Twitter and other places, so he in fact gave me a leave, because I was going through a tough time in this pandemic, to take rest and to help people rather than contribute to the project right now, because right now mental health is more important. So I'm thankful to the mentor, thankful to the community, and I would be beginning my work again from tomorrow, because now I'm feeling much better. But he himself gave the leave. So that is how important, great this community is. So that is just an example. So I hope, really wishing you all the best. To whoever is applying for the fixed mentorship this time, please ping me anytime. I have already given my Twitter profile for any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know there's a ton of questions in the chat about how to get started contributing, and shared a couple of resources. Check out the contribute. And then I really think, going back to the talks you were talking about earlier in the community, is your path to non-code contributions in the Kubernetes community. Even if you don't have any experience, or you just have a little bit of experience, I think it's a really great way to jump in with non-coding experience and get used to the community, get used to how people are working, and then eventually, as you like learn more about Go or you're more comfortable, then you can kind of jump into the like more code side of contribution. So I think that's a great one if you want to start contributing to the Kubernetes projects. Yeah. So a couple other talks that I would like to highlight. Let's see. I know there's the building your brand session. This will walk you through all the different like marketing programs that CNCF offers, both for companies and individuals. I'm also super biased. I'm also running this program too, and I think it's gonna be great. You can decide for yourself whether you like it or not after you show up. I also see there's a great comment from Magno in the chat. And he makes a really good, or they make a really good point. If you know another like language, and even a great place to start is translating some of the documentations from Kubernetes or any other CNCF project into your own language. That is super helpful because it will get you super familiar with the project, with all the documentation, with how it works, and you'll actually be contributing to the betterment of the community too. So, yeah. What about the pathway to CNCF citizen sections? Like, session for beginners. Let's see, a pathway to CNCF citizenship. So this is going to, the community bridge has been renamed to LFX. So these are all the mentorship programs that we were talking about before. If you're interested in learning more about applying to the programs, so this is a former mentee and a former mentor talking about their experience being a mentor and a mentee. And so I think it's going to be really insightful for those that are interested in applying to the LFX program. I definitely recommend checking out the pathway to CNCF citizenship. So yeah, there's more questions in the chat. Most of the event, if you have zero experience in Kubernetes, join the command lines. Yeah, so there's a couple questions in here. One is, I joined the command line SIG, but was overwhelmed with the technical questions. I feel I lack some basic knowledge and tech stack to move forwards. You know, this is what we were talking about before. Like, that's totally fine. There's so many different ways to get involved in the community. It doesn't have to be in the command line SIG. Like, if you found out that that's not the right SIG for you, you know, there's like a million more. So go try with another one and yeah, start over or try a different project. You know, you don't have to say this is the one place I can contribute. There's so many different ways to contribute. So yeah. Then this chat talk here is once again the business value sub track. I think that's a really good one. This one, Abu Bakr just ran KCD Africa last week. Super successful event. They had over 600 people from all across the continent register, and he's going to be talking about how they started building a cloud native community in Africa. I'm super excited to go to that session, and he's also a super great person to work with. Really excited for that, and I think it's a cool way to learn about building different communities. Then same thing here. Raul was talking about his experience doing KCD El Salvador, and KCDs are local community events. Next upcoming ones are going to be Bangalore and Spain. So if you're in either of those areas, you might want to check out those two events. And you can find them all on our community platform. So if you go to community.cncf.io, you can find all the KCD events. And so if I jumped into the Bangalore event, we can see that the event is coming up on 26th of June. These are more like localized events. You'll have more things more things localized to, in this case, to an India. So talks from people from the Indian community, and it'll be a great way to meet people that are in your area. There's a question for the schedule link, and I'll drop that in the chat right now. I'm kind of interested in Kubernetes on the edge, so I want to check out that one. The allyship to sponsorship, this is another great way. Community and diversity is super important for us in cloud native, so you should check out that one. let's see. Talking about creating a virtual focus community. Some more edge computing stuff. So that's my schedule. If you're a student, I definitely recommend, I just dropped the link in the chat. You'll be at the schedule page and you can filter by these different things. The ones that I would recommend for students is going to be this business value track, breaking things down into more approachable ways. The second one is going to be the community track, if you want to learn how to become a contributor, this is the track for you. And this is where you'll find all the sessions about how to contribute both in code and non-code ways. I'd really recommend the community track, the daily wrap-ups every single day right here on Cloud Native TV, talking about what happened over the course of the day at the conference, the interactive sessions that Mrityunjay recommended. Unfortunately, the experiences. Unfortunately, the escape room was already sold out, but Star Wars trivia is going to be super cool. Keynote sessions, especially the one from Priyanka on the first day, and also this student section too. So that's kind of things you might want to jump into later on. So, oh, and I see, Mrityunjay, you also sent me, is this your schedule?
Yeah, my schedule, if any student is interested, because I'm also a student, so if they really want to take some, take a guide, take as an inspiration at which session they can look for, so they may have a look at my sessions, definitely.
Yeah, so thank you. That's a great resource to get started for students. Next one is kind of like jumping into the platform. And so if you're not familiar, this is like the login screen. It's and this is what the platform is actually going to look like. So you can see that my schedule is already loaded into the platforms. These are the ones I wanted to check out. I can jump into them right from here. You can see all the co-located events on the side. So these are all the different ones. I'm not attending any of the ones today, but I have too many I want to go to tomorrow. I want to go to the Kubernetes on Edge, Kubernetes AI, Kubernetes Security, and Kubernetes Wasm Day. We'll see how many I actually get to. I don't know, Mrityunjay, are you going to any of the co-located events?
Yeah, I'm going to Cloud Native Security Day. My mentor would be there, Jim. So I would definitely love to hear. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. And then the next one is the keynotes. So this is what we were talking about before. Check out Priyanka's keynote on Wednesday. It's going to be super cool. Then you can go to like my agendas. This is like what we built out, all the different sessions, the exciting content coming your way. You can see the session that we're in right now. Then we can go to see all the different speakers. If you have questions after the talk, I bet you if you reach out to some of the speakers and have questions about their talk, they'd be super happy to answer them. I know I, as a speaker, always love to have feedback afterwards. So yeah, there's also a question. So what are the keynotes? So Mrityunjay, how would you describe a keynote?
Well, I feel that if we look at the name itself, if you break the name keynotes, so if any, whenever we join any conference, whenever we join any attend that is happening at a huge scale, there are speakers who actually are the leaders, the people who are leading the community or leading the organization, or have significant experience or have some kind of senior expertise, and they would like to share or introduce to that conference. They would like to begin that conference, or maybe give you the key notes of that conference, how that conference will be beneficial for you, how that conference will be helping you and will be welcoming you in a great way. I think in as far as my definition is concerned, that is what keynotes are. And I would definitely like if Bill would like to add more to it. So I mean, they are the starting points of conference. They tell you what we are going to do, what we are going to have, and what you are going to expect.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of like the high level talks that'll point you to more in-depth talks or things you want to look out for. So I think that's a great talk. And yeah, so like Meghna was saying, it's keynotes are usually the main speakers for that event. So it's kind of like the highlights or things you really want to attend. So yeah. So diving back into like the platform, here we have all the speakers. The solution showcase, this is where we have all the different sponsors are showing off kind of some of their cool new projects and products coming out. So dive in here if you want to learn more about what's going on around the cloud native ecosystem. There's a lot of great companies that are hiring, and this might be a good place to start if you want to learn more about those companies. Same thing with the exhibitor directory. So these are all the great sponsors that make this event possible. I would definitely recommend checking out like some of their booths. So if we dive into, this is Cisco's booth. I don't know if it's actually live right now because we might be, yeah, so it's, oops. Let's see. Oh, seems like, yeah. So it's okay, so they're not live yet.
Or I guess
Because
maybe because we are streaming, maybe that's why this is happening.
yeah, I don't think it seems to not like it. So don't try to stream and visit. Visit booths at the same time, I guess is our, maybe it's time to close out of that tab. Okay. So we got that back together. Let's see if I can go back to the platform and not try to do two things at once. Is it gonna work? Okay. Oof. Yeah, okay. I guess what we're learning from this is don't try to stream and visit the sponsor booths at the same time, but that's okay. Yeah. So, and like Magno was saying in the chat, like super feel free to like reach out to companies if you see like positions that spark your interest. I know a lot of companies that are exhibitors here are hiring, not just for senior positions, but also for junior positions. So yeah. Then sponsor theater, project pavilion. This is instead of talking about all the vendor products, this is all the CNCF projects. So like Kubernetes, like Prometheus, like Envoy, Fluentd, Containerd. So this is where you can find more about the different projects. Meet and match, this is where you can start networking with different people. You can also check out the mix and mingle chat on the CNCF Slack. Virtual giveaways. So if you want some of the swag coming from the conferences, check out that. Badges and prizes are different competitions run throughout the platform, and you can earn different points and badges for different things you do in the platform. So it's a fun, interactive way to dive more into the platform. Virtual giveaways is like free things that all of our sponsors are giving them. So like free t-shirts, free books, those types of things. And then also media is all the media partners that we have, and also the event survey. So there's a question, what's the objective of the co-located events? So this is kind of like two different parts. So one is KubeCon has become so big, we just can't fit everything in 3 days anymore. And the second part is what we say in the CNCF ecosystem is that everything's loosely coupled and projects connect together, but they don't require each other. And so the co-located events like showcase like so many different things that's happening around the cloud native ecosystem. So security is an important part of cloud native, but it's not the only thing that we do. So the co-located events are more like specialized topics, diving really deep into one focus area. I guess, Mrityunjay, do you want to talk about what you want to get out of Cloud Native Security Day?
So like right now, we are having a co-located event tomorrow that is Cloud Native Security Day. So my project that I am dealing with actually deals with creation of policy reports, the security policy reports. So in that, we will be discussing about the various, policy tool engines like Kubebench, Kuberno, or Falco, Gatekeeper, So we will be discussing about that. We will be discussing about QVerno, how that project has helped creation of policy reports very easy. And we will be also discussing about the best practices, the CIS, the security benchmarks for Kubernetes. And that is something that I'm going to expect from the community. And also I would definitely try to see if I get a chance to discuss about my own project with the mentors, with the people there. And my mentor would also be there, so it will definitely be a great opportunity for me. Bill, I think I'm not able to hear you. Is your mic?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, you mute yourself and you forget to turn back on. It's only 2021. Yeah, Magno, thanks for the comment. He's going to be running the Capture the Flag. This will also be on Cloud Native TV, so check it out. I'll be helping in the background on that. I think it's going to be a super cool event. So excited about that. And then I just want to where I just want to dive into some people are asking about like resources and like how to get started. And so Linux, CNCF and Linux Foundation have a whole bunch of free courses for students and really anybody on the edX platform. And one of them is Introduction to Kubernetes. There's a whole bunch of other great courses like Introduction to Logging, Introduction to Fluentd, things like that. I'd super recommend checking out the edX platform and everything that Linux Foundation has. There's a lot of interesting courses that you can have. Like if I jump to the Linux Foundation profile, we can see there's lots of different free courses that you can have here. And a lot of, it's around the Cloud Native ecosystem, but also like open source software in general too. The next one, beyond just the free courses, Linux Foundation has a full training catalog. So if you've heard about the Certified Kubernetes Application Developer or Certified Kubernetes Administrator, this is where you can get the certifications. And I think there's also a great article about how a student got these certifications and then quickly got a job because they got those certifications. So if you want to read that story, I just dropped a link to it in the chat too. So yeah. And we talked about the KCD events that are coming up. We talked about like, live stream. Oh, it's not seeming to be liking live stream. And we've answered most of the questions. One more thing I want to talk about. So there's a super nice person in the community, Bart Farrell, and he is really great at putting together good content. So actually, I don't know if this will work, but I'm going to play the video.
Is there audio in it? I guess the audio is
Yeah.
not audible to me.
Okay.
I think to play the audio, I just change the settings of audio input from your microphone to that system. So I guess then the audio will come. I think you should try that.
Okay. But so it's telling about somebody's experience joining, working on SIG usability. So it's someone contributing to Kubernetes, getting a paid mentorship, being included in the program, and then talking about their experience. And one thing that I'd recommend is, so Bart, I'll put his name in the chat. Please reach out to him on the CNCF Slack. He wants to put together a video similar to this about students' experience at KubeCon. So if you want to chat about your experience after the event, please reach out to him into the Slack. He'd love to have kind of your story about whether you're first time at KubeCon attendee or if you've been a couple times. He wants to hear about students and how they're experiencing KubeCon. He's also a really great person to meet, so I'd definitely recommend reaching out to them. Yeah, I think that's everything that we have for today. I don't know, I'm super happy to stick around and answer questions. I don't know, Mrityunjay, is there more things you want to talk about for the conference?
Yeah, I definitely would like to say that every student who is joining, that I know that there are a lot of schedules, there are a lot of sessions. So, just don't get overwhelmed with that thing. Try to plan your schedule according to what suits your interest, what is in your time, what is better for your time zone, and most probably all things will be recorded as well. So even if you have that fear of missing out anything, you will get a chance to listen and learn. And most importantly, be active in whatever you are joining. Share your experiences, try to network, because community conferences are the best places to network and develop relations. And your network is your net worth. That is an old saying, but that is definitely a great saying, because networking can help us to unimaginable situations. I mean, you can meet your future mentor here, your future employer here, you can meet anyone here. So do try to network, not only through talks, through games, as I told, just go ahead and enjoy. I mean, we are all virtual right now in the virtual world, with the hope that everything will be fine soon in few months, or maybe just about a year, so that we can have in-person conferences again. But right now, even virtually, we are together. So just know that we are here for you. And do reach out to us anywhere, on Twitter, on Slack. We are always there to help you, to guide you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw we had a couple more questions pop up in the chat. So Ziffer, could you please explain the cloud native ecosystem in brief? Like, what does this all include? This is a a big question. I'll take one stab at it. So the cloud native ecosystem is a bunch of open source and closed source projects that can all work together to create make cloud computing like easier to do. I don't know. And if you want like an overview of what the cloud native ecosystem encompasses, I'd recommend you check out the CNCF landscape. And what this does, actually, let's see if I can share my screen really quick again. And so what this is an almost overwhelming landscape of a bunch of projects and products in all these different areas. So the cloud native ecosystem encompasses everything from databases, streaming and messaging, container runtimes, cloud native networking, like Kubernetes platforms, security and compliance, basically everything, all the software that you need to run highly available distributed computing. And so this encompasses a lot of different things. The landscape can seem overwhelming, but I think it's really nice in that it breaks up lots of things into like smaller things. So instead of having to look at the whole thing, just think about what you want to focus on right now. So one example would be, hey, I need to right now dive into container runtime, and what ones are available for me. So I can see CNCF, the Container D project is a graduated project. Cryo is an incubating project. And if I'm not interested in those container runtimes, then there's a couple more that I can look at. And so it gives you a really exhaustive overview of what's available in different areas of the cloud native ecosystem. And I wouldn't try to look at all of it at once. Look at what you're most interested in. Say you're somebody who's really interested in security. Don't look at the whole cloud native ecosystem or cloud native landscape to begin with. Just look at the security and compliance section. And if say you want to be a mentor or mentee, it looks like there's 4 different CNCF projects in security and compliance. Maybe that's a good place to start. So whatever you're interested in, the CNCF landscape can maybe help guide you to those things. Or say that you're looking for a job and you're really interested in observability and analysis. Well, there's a whole bunch of products on here, each of those backed by a company, and maybe some of those companies are hiring, so that might be a good place to look too. So cloud native is a lot of different things, and a good place to start is the interactive landscape. Let's see, do we have more questions in the chat? So I missed the early bird tickets. Is anybody giving away tickets to KubeCon? So if you're a student, there's still tickets available. if you fill out this form, we'll be able to get you a ticket. Another one, shout out again to Kunal, super great guy. So Code for Cause, please check him out if you haven't yet. Really nice guy. He's our latest CNCF ambassador. Mrityunjay, what are your socials?
You can share my Twitter profile with him, with her. I mean, so definitely.
Okay, so dropping the link to Twitter in there, and I'm sure if you reach out in the CNCF Slack, you'd also be happy to chat there too.
Yeah. Slack chat. Slack is the best actually. You can reach out
Okay.
me anytime. Yeah.
Yep. So thanks for sharing the link to the landscape. Diagram is overwhelming. Yeah, I think everybody thinks that the first time they look at it. Super happy to have you. Glad you found this informative. Yeah, thanks. Great session. It was great to have everybody. Next, can you tell how helpful the one-on-one track will be for students? Yes, the one-on-one track is another one that we forgot to cover. Mrityunjay, were you going to say something?
Yeah, 101 tracks are basically when you're starting with any technology, the very basic technology. When you are starting from the ground, from the base, from the foundation, so that are basically 101 tracks that are beginner friendly. So 101 means that you are starting from here. So there are a few 101 tracks that even I am going to attend, but I would definitely recommend that you should, as a student, try to attend 101 events in any technical stack that you are interested in. Like if you're interested in Kubernetes related sessions, then you should definitely attend the 101 tracks by them. And if I'm checking it right now, let me just see. Yeah, I'm attending like inside Kubernetes networking, because that would be something beneficial for me, but for you it can be something different. So not all sessions might be entirely beginner friendly for a student. I can say that, because if you are just beginning out with Kubernetes, it can still be overwhelming, but you can still try to experiment, try to learn, try to come out of your comfort zone. Things in our talks and in our conferences, they may look like we are talking this, we are talking that, but in a 1 hour conversation we might not cover each and every talk in detail. But when you design your schedule, don't clutter it up with a lot of talks because you want to attend everything, because then you will get stressed out that I have to attend this, I have to attend that, I have to attend that, and then you will not be able to attend any. So just design your schedule in this way that you feel that yes, this technology interests me. I can this is looking interesting. There are descriptions for everything, so go ahead and go with that. And like there is one session happening on May 6th, and that is hacking into Kubernetes security for beginners. So that is so I will be biased for that. So I will be definitely looking to that session. So and so can you, if you are if you are starting with Kubernetes. And like there is one event that is happening on 4th of May, first principles of cloud native technology. So that is also a 101 track session. So it is being done by Ronald Petty at 16:30 IST. So you can definitely join even that, and that is an amazing session for people who are interested in cloud native technology. They can start from the beginning. One of us asked the question, like, what is cloud native? So cloud native, as Bill explained, it actually helps us. It is a collection of microservices, I can say. That's what my simple definition for me. It's a lot of microservices in the cloud that help us in an isolated environment scaling up systems. So that is basically running on cloud. So that is what I simply define myself cloud native. But cloud native is huge, and you can definitely join that track to learn more.
Yeah, definitely. So I think, as we said today, there's so many different ways to get involved: coding, non-coding, security, container runtime, whatever you want to do, it's totally up to you. If you don't know where to start with the 101 track, start with the business value track, and then pick one thing and dive deep into it. We're totally welcome to having you. We're super excited to have students at KubeCon, Cloud Native Con. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either of us, either on CNCF Slack, on Twitter. Super happy to connect and interact with these different people from around the community. Yeah, we're at the top of the hour, so thanks everyone for joining. that's all we have today. So Mrityunjay, you can say the closing, like whatever you want, up to you.
Yeah, thank you so much to everyone who joined us, and really it was an honor. Thank you so much, Bill, for having me, and thank you so much to KubeCon, CNCF, and to all the members who are handling this at the back end. I mean, to all those people, the unsung people of this entire arranging the entire conference, because a lot of hard work must have been going on for months. So thanks to all of them, gratitude to all of them, prayers for all those who are dealing with the problem of COVID all over the world, and especially India, which is having a tough time. But Indians are fighters, and they will definitely come out of it. So prayers for everyone. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us. Thank you so much, Bill.
Yeah.